A huge cargo launch is moving forward, breaking through strong waves on the Meghna River. The date was November 12th. The clock was at 2:13 a.m. It was pouring rain and gusty winds outside. Inside the launch, everything was going on normally. But suddenly, as if by an invisible hand, the entire launch system came to a standstill. From navigation radar to CCTV cameras, everything blocked out at once. Nothing could be heard in the radio signal except static noise. The launch's communication with the outside world is completely cut off. Exactly 17 minutes later, at 2:30 a.m., the launch system was activated again. The generator started working, but by then, what was supposed to happen had already happened. The huge iron door to the most secure part of the launch, the underground security vault, swung open. Every armed guard on guard is lying unconscious on the floor, and 100 tons of gold have completely disappeared from the vault. The next morning, the entire country woke up in silence. There is only one news in the headlines of the government and the media: the most heinous armed robbery in Bangladesh's history. 100 tons of gold missing from Meghna's chest. Everyone started talking, saying that the robbers must be members of some international mafia gang. But today, we will present to you some such subtle evidence and investigation reports of this entire incident, which will completely change your way of thinking. You will understand there was no robbery on the Meghna River that night. What happened was an incredible and masterminded scam to fool the entire country's system. Let's go a little deeper into the incident. The private cargo launch MV Karnafuli departed from Dhaka for a secret and highly secured vault in the south. There were 100 tons of gold bars stored in a secret chamber beneath the launch. This gold did not belong to any ordinary merchant. A leading corporate syndicate in the country was transferring their huge reserves from one place to another. The protocols for securing such a large amount of wealth were also very strict. There were 12 special armed guards inside the launch, and 2 high-speed boats from the Coast Guard were supposed to be escorting the launch. But that night, nature was terrifying. The meteorological department issued local warning signal number 3. The intensity of the waves increased so much in the middle of the river that the escorting speedboats were unable to keep up with the 2 launches and fell behind. And it is precisely this opportunity, this perfect timing, that the robbers exploit. It was exactly 2:13 a.m. A black speedboat belonging to the robbers silently approached the launch and rammed it. You will be surprised to hear that there were only 3 members of the robber gang in such a big operation. They didn't have any heavy weapons, but they did have military-grade high-frequency signal jammers. As they got close to the launch, they turned on the jammer. As a result, all the launch's radio and CCTV signals were jammed. They didn't fire any shots once they got on the launch. They released powerful sleeping gas directly into the launch's central ventilation or AC lines. As a result, within moments, the launch guards fell unconscious to the floor. The robbers then entered the vault without incident, and at exactly 2:30 a.m., they took a speedboat and disappeared into the darkness. The whole story sounds like a Hollywood or Bollywood suspense thriller movie, doesn't it? Initially, the police's criminal investigation department also believed this. They frantically started searching for these ruthless robbers, but there was a terrible logical error hidden in the investigation file, which escapes the eyes of the investigating officers. But when that mistake comes to light, the entire case is turned upside down. Let's do some simple math and try to understand the matter with logic. Can you guess exactly how much 100 tons of gold is? 100 tons means 100,000 kilograms. A healthy, fit, and very strong person can lift a maximum of 50 kilograms at a time, and that too with great difficulty. That means if 100,000 kilograms of gold has to be moved by speedboat, the robbers will have to travel from the speedboat to the launch's vault at least 2,000 times. Now do some math. There were only 3 people, and they had only 17 minutes. That is 1,020 seconds. 3 people would physically remove 100,000 kilograms of gold from the vault and lift it onto a speedboat in 17 minutes. This is not possible even in science fiction. Not only that, another big logic is the carrying capacity of the speedboat. A normal or modified speedboat has a maximum carrying capacity of 2 to 3 tons. If 100 tons of gold were placed on a speedboat there, the weight of the gold would cause the speedboat to sink to the bottom of the river within seconds. So what really happened that night? How much gold did the three robbers actually remove in 17 minutes? Exactly 72 hours after the robbery, a team of the Joint Task Force acting on secret information raided a remote hill hideout in Teknov. The three robbers were arrested from there. The police were surprised to see them because they were not international mafia or trained commandos. They were ordinary thieves and local smugglers. And the biggest shock for the police was when they searched their hideout and found only 2 tons of gold. The police's eyes widened. 100 tons of gold was looted and only 2 tons was found? Where are the remaining 98 tons of gold? When the robbers were taken to the special cell and remanded, when cross-examination is conducted, a shocking truth emerges that will keep even the country's top leaders awake at night. The robbers broke down under police questioning and admitted that they were not the masterminds of the robbery. They were actually hired. They themselves don't clearly know who hired them. They only received a briefcase containing a signal jammer, sleeping gas, complete blueprints for the launch, and several crores of taka and cash. A total of 100 boxes were kept in the launch's vault. The instructions given to the robbers were very clear. They were told to simply take the 2 red-marked boxes placed at the very front of the vault and escape by speedboat. They must not touch the remaining 98 boxes by mistake. The robbers followed the instructions to the letter. They escaped with only 2 tons of gold bars. So now the biggest question comes to the fore. Where did the remaining 98 tons of gold go? You will be surprised to hear the answer. The answer is, those 98 tons of gold were never lifted onto the launch. The remaining 98 boxes in the launch's vault, which were later recovered by police, on opening them, a horrifying scene was revealed. The boxes were filled with gold, but it wasn't real gold. They were gold-plated lead and iron bars. That is, only gold was plated on iron and lead so that it looked exactly like gold. The truth is that the corporate syndicate and the owners of the real gold had been slowly selling the real gold on the black market for months before the robbery drama itself. And through Hundi, they smuggled thousands of crores of taka abroad. Their vaults were actually empty, but they needed a big cover-up or incident to reconcile the accounts during the audit, an incident that would turn the entire country's attention. So they themselves hired these 3 sneaky thieves, promising them big money. They were given a perfect plan. The objective was very clear. A brutal robbery drama would be staged in the middle of the river. 3 thieves will run away with 2 tons of gold, and the owners will come to the media and cry out loud, "Oh my, our 100 tons of gold have been looted. We're sitting on the road." This would have brought them 2 huge benefits. First, the government or law enforcement agencies would never have to account for the 98 tons of gold that had been smuggled out, because in everyone's eyes it has become a robbery. And secondly, and the most frightening thing, is insurance scams. These 100 tons of gold were insured for thousands of crores of taka. By staging a robbery, they would have completely legally pocketed the compensation of thousands of crores of taka from the insurance company. Today, those 3 robbers are serving life sentences in the country's most stringent security prison. Even today, the common people know that they 3 committed the biggest robbery in the country. The police officers received medals for catching the robbers. The case is closed, but those who wrote the script for this entire drama from far behind the scenes, those who smuggled thousands of crores of rupees of the country abroad, those who have instilled corruption in every nook and cranny of the system, are still completely out of reach. They might be sitting on the balcony of a 5-star hotel abroad right now, sipping expensive coffee, and they are smiling at the success of their master plan. Because in our fragile system, thieves are caught sneaking around, and they are also brought to justice. But those who create thieves, those who have made this system their puppet, they always stay hidden. No one can even touch their ticket. What do you think? Will these masterminds ever be